TitleMatchNetwork.com.
How'd you wind back up in Detroit?
Well, when I smacked Paul Beisch and told Fritz and Macklemore to go fuck themselves,
Right.
I went home,
Right.
back to the Chic and Bert Ruby.
Did you like moving around so much, or
Yeah, I never minded that at all. I thought it was a great adventure.
how did you and Fritz resolve your issues finally?
Well, we never really did, ever. I mean, we had a working relationship, but I don't think we were always at odds. But on this particular occasion, I was back in Detroit. A good friend of mine, Billy Red Lyons, who wrestled quite a bit in Texas, and he would come to Detroit, and another guy by the name of Killer Carl Cox. They were coming into Detroit, and Texas, that's going to sound like, I'm a prima donna, but business had really taken a tumble because I really got over there. I created a lot of excitement and drew a lot of money. And when I left, Carl and Al really had lost their luster. They neither one were good interviews. They were both in their mid-40s at that time, and I was a young kid that generated a lot of heat. And Fritz started sending messages back and forth with Billy Red Lyons and Carl Cox to tell me to give him a call. And I was very candid with him. I said, hey, if he wants to call me, give him my number and tell him to give me a call. So after a few months, he did, and we straightened out the money problems. He understood that whatever the percent was that my talent got, I got. To make it very clear to you, in those days, the main event got 32% of the gross. And if there were 4 guys, each guy got 8%. When I was involved, it was 5 1/4 apiece. If it was the guy I represented and our opponent, we would split 16% 3 ways. I think it was 5 1/4 apiece, something like that. And once that was ironed out and I knew that my money was guaranteed, then I said okay, and I went back.
Do you think Fritz had more respect for you since you didn't roll over and just take it?
Oh, of course he did. Of course he did, because he realized early on that I had something to offer. I helped him take the booking office. I helped make him a very, very successful promoter. So yeah, he definitely knew that Gary Hart was someone he wanted on his side.
You went to work for, I guess, Ole for a little bit in Georgia? Or?
I was going in and out for Jim Barnett.
Right.
Ole was the booker,
right.
With the Great Kabuki, but I always had an ongoing relationship with Jim Barnett. I mean, ever since 1963 or 64, when I first met him in Detroit, I worked for him continuously in Australia and in Georgia and in Florida. I was always considered one of, and was proud to be considered one of Jim Barnett's boys.
How did you wind up back in Georgia?
Well, I was to go to Oklahoma for Bill Watts because the time I spent in Florida with Bill, I was his assistant. And Bill wanted me to come to Oklahoma. And Jack Briscoe approached me. He owned a part of Atlanta. And he asked me what my plans were. And I told him that I was planning on going to Oklahoma for Bill Watts and to become his booker. And Jack said, well, would you be interested in being the booker in Atlanta? And I said, I'd like to talk to you guys about it. So he said, well, Jim's very excited. He wants you to come and take over the book. You and him did good things together in Australia. And he feels comfortable that Jerry Jarrett's no longer there. And we really need to resupply talent because Jerry brought in the Tennessee crowd and this just didn't work in Georgia.
Right.
So that's how I became the booker in Atlanta, 1975.
Were you apprehensive about Tom Ernesto?
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all.
What were some of your key moves as booker?
I think probably the best move I made was I put Bob Orton and Dickie Slater together.
Right.
Against Bob Armstrong and Robert Fuller. I put Don Jardine the Sparta against Wrestling Number 2.
Right.
I put Abdullah the Butcher against Mark Lund. And when you have that kind of package, how are you going to miss? Then I had Bill Watts coming in. I had Dusty Rhodes coming in. I had Jack Briscoe coming in. I had Jerry Briscoe. I had guys from New York like Dean Ho, I had Dominic DiNucci, I had Professor Tanaka. I had a lot of guys. I had good connections with wrestlers. And because I wasn't your typical booker, I wasn't a Bill Watts, I wasn't an Ole Anderson, I wasn't a George Scott, I wasn't a domineering type guy. I would rather get you to do things my way because you trusted me and my vision, rather than do it because you were afraid that I would fuck you on the bookings or I'd fire you.
Right.
I wanted them to trust me that I had the right idea. So that was a little different than most bookers. I wasn't your really bossy, over-dominating type guy.
Right. Why did you end up leaving Georgia once again? What happened there?
Well, you know, I had a way about me that I could get fired.
Right.
I was a guy that if I had something in my mind that I wanted to do, and as long as the crowds stayed good, then I would continue what I wanted to do. And even when you told me no, I would continue to do what I wanted to do. And it got to the point that Jim Barnett had had enough. And he said, Gary, you know, you've done a great job, but Fred Ward can't stand you, Buddy Fuller can't stand you, and Eddie Graham can't stand you. And I have to go with my partners, and they think you should leave, and I do too.
Huh.
So I said, that's okay, man, because I had a good run.
Right.
And I never held it against Jim. Jim was a friend of mine until the day he died.
Who put the JTEX Corp together, and whose idea was that?
That was mine.
Okay.
I had a Jap, and he was from Texas, so JTEX. It was surprised me that people picked up on that. To me, it was just a throw out line. It was like, you know, I didn't want to just. There were so many managers there at the time, and I wanted to present it a little different. So, like I did in Texas with H&H, I wanted to have it like a corporate thing, a separate entity. So I had 2 or 3 Japanese guys with me. I had Terry Funk. So JTEX, you know, say we were a corporation that was controlled by Japan. And the people bought it.
Yeah,
I mean, to me, it was no big thing. I didn't set out and say, how am I going to do this? I mean, it was just something I did that clicked.
What's the biggest misconception that they've said?
Oh, everything, you know, everything. I mean, they don't understand who I am. They don't understand my accomplishments. They don't understand. A lot of times, I remember with the great Muda, this guy, he kept saying, you know, that I was sandbagging Muda because I needed a job. You know, come on, I created the great Muda. I didn't need a job. I could have been with Leon White. I could have been with Sid Vicious. But they keep printing it. You know, so I tried not to read them. I just looked at them as gossip columnists, not serious news people. And I guess, you know, you can gain some knowledge from these newsletters, but I really don't bother reading them, you know. I mean, because they really don't have any insight to it.
Watch thousands of exclusive shoot interviews right now on TitleMatchNetwork.com.